Righto guys, just going to do the service on the carburetor now. It's a Mercury 40 horsepower model ELPTO. It's a 2006 model. Now I've probably only got about 300 hours on the clock. I've had it since it was 1 year old and don't use it enough, hence why I'm going to do a carburetor clean. So all I have to do is there's just a locking clip at the back, push that down, push the cowling forward, lift the cowling up and just push it forward, take the cowling off. So just got the oil container, it's just held in by two 8mm bolts. Just lift that up and just put it off to the side. So you just got an air intake, or what I think is an air intake cover, two Phillips heads. So there's your carburetor, it's just held in by two 13mm bolts. So there is just I suppose a linkage, just gently prise that off. You've just got two fuel lines there, cable tied on, just cut them off. Just gently work your hoses. Carburetor's removed. I've had this carburetor out quite a few times in the past, so sort of familiar with it. First time doing it though, that's your little drain for your old fuel. Just remove that. So I've already drained this prior. There'll be just a little bit of residual fuel that's sort of been in the system. A couple of Phillips head screws just at the base, remove them. And prior to doing this, probably best to go out and order yourself a gasket kit as well. Just gently prise that off. So there's the new gasket that's already been fitted. That's still in perfect condition. So inside your carburetor, you've got a float, which is held in by a pin just along here. And there's a spring activation in there as well. So get a little punch and just punch that out. You've got a jet. So it's open, it's nice and free. Got a couple of Phillips head screws up the top here, we'll remove them. Now when we get to doing the jets, you don't want to bore the jets out bigger than what they already are. So you can get specific little cleaning rods that will fit inside the jets. So just looking inside everything at this point, it's still nice and clean. So I do suspect it was just that I had dirty fuel, but I'll continue pulling it apart. Just punch the pin to get it started, and then just gently work it out and you'll pull the pin out. Then just lift this out and you'll notice there's a plunger there. That's held in by just held in on top. Take it off. Don't know if you can see that there. So it just goes over that little metal and it just sits on there like that. Just go around here. You can see a couple little holes just down in there. You want to make sure they're clear. This is your mixture here, so I'm going to remove that. And then also down the center there, you just want to make sure that's clear. So So I'll get the air compressor shortly, and I'll blow through all this and make sure all the jets are clear. When you take the mixture out, just tighten it up and count how many revolutions you get. Out of the factory, it'll be preset, and you want to try to get that back to where it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just on 5. Now, to me, that's too many. I think from memory it should be about 3.5 on this carburetor, but we'll tell once it gets running. So remove that as well. Just make sure the tip of that's clean. Basically everything you do, you want to make sure it's clean. Any little, again, those little holes, the little jets, you want to make sure they're clean, but don't run a drill or anything through them, because you don't want to make it bigger than what comes out of the factory. Given all the jets are clean, they're all open. What I'll do, just give everything a good spray with the carby cleaner as well. Start to reassemble it. So just refit the screw. I said take it all the way back home again. Now some people, so that's all the way home. So when I did it originally I counted 5, but I know 5's too many. Some people start off at about 1.5 and then just fine tune it. So let's go 2.5. Just clean everything as you go. Check the gaskets, make sure they're good. As I said, normally you'd buy a new gasket kit, but I know this gasket kit was only replaced probably 8 months ago, but I've never used it, so had a few other issues with the boat and just never got motivated to taking it out and fixing it. Last time I opened this up, there was just all green sludge in here, and that's because the fuel was old, and that's why I cleaned it out last time as well. But as you can tell this time, it's pretty much spotless. Just tighten everything back up. Then you want to fit your little, I call it a plunger. Just give that a few little taps back into place. And I'll just go back in the garage, tap that back in so that it's flush and it comes out the other side. So that pin's now in, and the float works. Check your gaskets and then just do it up again. Just go around, make sure they're all tight. Put your sump plug back in. So I got no parts left over. As I said, everything looks clean. If you, it's all nice and free, opens and closes. That's pretty much a carburetor clean. So there is a gasket here on this face as well. It's still virtually brand new as well. Just make sure everything's nice and clean. Connect your fuel lines back up. Don't forget to put that knuckle back on. From memory it goes this way. I'll grab some cable ties out of the car in a minute and I'll cable tie those fuel lines. The airbox cover. Now some of these names I'm giving everything probably not the right names. Your oil just sits into a little groove here. Tighten those two 8mm bolts back in. Got no leftover parts. It's going to go down and get some clean petrol and then kick it over. So it'll probably take a little while for it to kick over as I want to get the new fuel up through the system, and then start playing with the idle. Okay, not quite there yet, another half turn. I ended up screwing that petrol adjuster back in a couple of turns, probably about 2.5 to 3 turns. I'm sitting at, I took it out to about 4.5, 5 there at one point. Once the motor was running and got back into where it needed to be, I could just wind it back a little bit. Working perfectly. Anyway guys, that's the carburetor clean. Now, probably didn't see too much because it was already clean, but it's just a simple way that I've done it in the past. Seems to work every time when I need to do it. I'll take more care in removing the petrol, and at the end of each trip, I'll actually drain the bottom of that little sump just so I don't get no dirty fuel in there, and I'll get the boat out more often now. Anyway guys, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Any questions, feel free to reach out and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Cheers guys, thanks for watching.